Hey guys, welcome back to another great game of CEDH. Today we have a sweet game I recorded at MagicCon Philly last weekend. And even better, we have two special guests, Dylan and Cam from PlaytoWin. This was the first time I had met them, and they were a blast to play against, and I'm happy I was able to get a game in. Also, have you heard the news? Your favorite CEDH YouTube channel has released some cool merch, and if you're interested in picking up some sweet new apparel, come check us out. Also, if you like what you see, consider joining our Patreon, as with your help, we can keep producing the videos you enjoy. And if you want to play with us, hop on our Discord. We have an ever-growing community that loves to talk MTG or whatever else strikes our fancy. And we would love to meet new people. Alright, block there, kill that. Oh, that is trample. Guess I'm just dead on board. Starting us off is Terry on Winota. This is still a classic Winota list, but plays some interesting infinite combos not found in most lists. It's still an explosive stax combo deck that wants to play non-human creatures early, and then its commander, using Winota's ability to cheat creatures into play at an alarming rate, and overwhelm the board. The explosive nature of the deck, in combination with its tightly layered combos, allow for the first real opportunity for borrowers to play at the competitive tables. Next up is Hidden Planet X, playing Marneus. This is a mid-range deck that looks to combo quickly if it can, or prolong the game and gain value using its commander's draw and activated abilities. It has the power to beat down heavily on its opponents if need be, and runs a lot of Esper good stuff, but has a lot of fun synergies with its commander. In the third spot, we have Cam, who has brought Armix Kraum. This list grinds value with Kraum, as Armix deals with problematic creatures. This deck excels at being able to go very fast, but has the interaction and grind plan to play a long game and control the board. And bringing up the rear, we have Dylan piloting Kess. This is actually Kess control, and is exactly what it sounds like. It's a slower take on Kess, meant to excel in more grindier metas. It still runs all the Grixis good combos such as Thassa's, Breach, and Intuition piles, but also runs sweet cards like Notion Thief and Oppo Agent. But without further ado, let's get on to the gameplay. Cam actually has a pre-game effect, as he plays a Gemstone Caverns, exiling a Grim Monolith. Terry starts off the game with an Inkmoth Nexus and a Chromox.
Reflecting.
Write that down.
The Inkmoth is then tapped for a Soul Ring, and Terry does mention he messed something up as he passes the turn after that. Hitting cracks a Flooded Strand for an Underground Sea, but shortcuts as he casts a Mystic Remora. Cam has an Ancient Tomb as land and takes 2 to cast a Ledger Shredder. He still has a floating mana and uses it on a Manifold, saying 1's okay, as he doesn't pay for the fish. He also triggers his Ledger Shredder to connive, discarding a Git Probe to give a counter to his Shredder. Dylan plays and cracks a Bloodstained Mire, and cracks it for bad lands. He also gives a card to Hidden as he casts a Lotus Petal, and then cracks it to help cast an early Dockside. The Goblin triggers the Ledger Shredder and gives Dylan 4 treasures. Not that the treasures stay for long though, as he sacrifices all of them to cast his commander Kess. Terry has an Ancient Tomb as land and casts a Petal of his own. He gives a card to Hidden and then sacrifices his Petal for white to cast his commander Winota. The Ledger Shredder activates once again, with Terry then activating his Inkmoth to become a creature. The Inkmoth then turns sideways at Hidden and Winota triggers. Terry looks at the top 6 and reveals a Thalia, who also heads at Hidden. Hidden untaps and pays for fish. Luckily for Hidden, he actually has a good blocker, as he plays a Tundra and casts an active Sarah's Ascendant. Cam plays a Badlands.
I'll cast, what am I worried about? Am I worried about the creatures right now, or do I want more cards? I don't think I'm too worried about the creatures right now. I think Kraum is okay.
Kraum then turns sideways and heads at Dylan, who takes the hit. Dylan plays a Fiery Islet and passes. Terry has a Dockside of his own, and while this only gains him 2 treasures, he needs the colored mana, as he cracks one of them to cast a Legion Warboss. And with this being the second spell he casts, Cam triggers both Kraum and Ledger Shredder.
I These two together are so good.
They're really nice.
Because when you get to do that, then that's a lot.
So I am still floating one colorless.
Yeah, draw 2, discard 1.
Yeah, much better than draw 1, discard 1.
Oh, yeah.
Terry still has a floating colorless and uses it to animate his ink moth. He then heads to combat and gains a goblin off the war boss. The goblin heads at Cam while the ink moth heads at Dylan. We have 2 Winota triggers, and the first one reveals a Blade Historian, which heads at Hidden, while the second trigger actually whiffs. Blockers are had, with Hidden blocking with his Ascendant. Cam blocks with his Shredder, and Dylan blocks the ink moth with Kess. Terry's creatures do have double strike, so Kess gets 2 -1/-1 counters, with Hidden actually gaining some life off his Ascendant.
Okay. I'm gonna keep paying for fish because I can't cast any of my non-creature spells anyways, so might as well make other people deal with them.
Hidden has an Urza Saga as land and passes. Cam loses 1 for his tap vault and goes into the tank.
Now are you worried about creatures?
You got toss dealers that day?
I'm just trying to think.
It felt so nice. I was playing Shorikai and I actually had a board wipe in the deck, and I'm like, it's so nice to be able to tutor and actually wipe stuff.
Yeah.
Cam plays an Otawaro as land, and for 2 casts a Gilded Drake. And unfortunately for Terry, the Drake targets Winota. And what's even more unfortunate, Terry thought he had an answer in the form of a Swords, but he's actually locked out of it due to his own Thalia. And with that, the 2 creatures swap.
I thought about taking Sarah Ascendant actually and just saying like, go this way.
I mean, honestly,
this
if
way.
I get my 1 human and then I have infinite combat. So.
Oh, that is true too.
Cam then heads to combat and sends Kraum back at Dylan.
Wait a minute, that's not a human, son of a bitch.
Alright.
Cam gets his Winota trigger, but fails to reveal anything. And Dylan takes 4 more commander damage. Dylan plays an Underground Sea and once again passes. Terry untaps, and this is where the magic of MagicCon Philadelphia happens, as Wild Sheldon Menery appears.
Are you live?
Yeah, we're recording. But yes.
Okay. Then we need a booster tutor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go for
Yeah.
it.
What do we do? How do we do it?
Take the boosters for you,
Okay.
Thank you.
Booster tutor.
Thanks.
and then you tear it open and put one of the cards in your hand.
Okay. In my hand here.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'm
That's
perfectly
perfect.
okay
Booster
with doing
tutor
this.
it.
Awesome. Oh, that's
I need some removal.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Is the removal in here?
Well, it's Dominary Remastered.
Get it.
Could be.
Ooh.
What's my mythic? Give me a mythic. Decimate. Oh, wow,
Oh,
baby.
shit, damn it.
Wait. I can't cast it though.
And you can cast that.
For free?
No, you can't cast
I have
it for free. You can cast that, right?
Sweet.
I could.
That one?
Never cast that one.
Destroy target enchantment does not do a whole lot.
You don't have to tell anybody what you got, by the way.
That's true.
Oh yeah.
But I think this one might actually be.
Yeah, I can cast that. These are spicy. This is the first ever Dominaria pack I've ever
I wish I
opened.
didn't cast my dock set already. I have a goblin in. I honestly, I don't have to tell you, but. Thanks, Sheldon.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sheldon.
I say.
I get a card.
Yeah, for.
You guys are fucked.
I can't cast any of these fucking things though.
What, you'd open like a chain lightning?
I have like an icy manipulator that I kind of want against the Winota, but
I want to.
I did.
I wish I could cast this Arcades. That would be insane.
So I'm gonna do something I've never ever done in these colors. Just
I was thinking like, man, do I have a way of comboing Peregrine Drake? And I don't know.
this is the part I'm picking.
Oh damn.
But I don't think I have any way of infinitely flickering it, unfortunately.
I'm sorry. What did you just say you're doing?
I am grabbing this card.
You are
No
grabbing
doubt.
your card. Great.
Yeah, I'm
okay.
just gonna take the rare hunt.
Yeah.
And with that magical moment done, Terry continues his turn, and plays an Ornithopter from his booster tutor. He then follows that up with a Drenith Magistrate. Cam triggers both his Kraum and Ledger Shredder, discarding a Milliken from the booster tutor. Terry then moves to combat and makes a Goblin, which unfortunately is forced to attack.
Stack up.
No, but it has to
Oh
attack.
yeah, that's right. Let's go ahead and swing it at the Winona player.
I'll block it with your
And
Winota.
I'll declare this one.
Okay.
I will declare your Gilded Drake.
Okay, I have a flyer
Yeah,
too.
does it
That's
say?
perfect. Mine's double strike.
Yep.
That's also great too because I have 8 toughness. I have 8 butt.
toughness.
Yes, I have 8 butt.
And 6 front.
8 butt and 6 front.
Yeah,
That's actually my very accurate proportions in Rich.
So we'll just swing
So
this
when's the calendar coming out?
double striker. We'll just swing this double striker at you to teach you a lesson.
All right, I think that's totally fair. I will block it with your Winota.
You know, that's understandable.
Totally fair.
Now,
I have learned my lesson though.
did you learn it?
I did.
That was
Fish is
key.
gonna
I
be
did. So
dead.
I'm glad
That was
that
key.
came.
I will draw.
Hidden lets his fish go and upticks his saga. He plays a Vault of Champion and then plays his own booster tutor card, Lieutenant Kirtar. Cam takes 1 from his tap vault and casts a mana crypt. He does have to pay 1 for Thalia and then for 3 mana casts an Arcane Signet. This is his second spell and he connives off a Shredder, discarding a Simian Spirit Guide. Cam then ends his turn with combat, sending Kraum at Dylan and whiffing on the Winota trigger. Not sure if it's the Thalia, but Dylan just plays a Marsh Flats and passes once again. Terry untaps and heads straight to combat. He continues to send his Goblin at Cam to teach him a lesson.
Continue to block with Winota.
It's a hard lesson, I'm sorry.
I'm learning so much.
You said you were done after that?
I'm done.
I can't believe this is free.
Hidden draws and upticks his saga. He floats a mana and then goes searching.
Oh, Fish isn't around anymore.
Fish is not around.
Been gone.
Hell yeah.
It's been gone.
Since you've been gone.
Did you not even notice when you cast all these?
That you didn't draw?
Yeah,
No, I just went for it. Fuck whatever you have.
Hidden grabs a Soul Ring and wishes he could cast his own commander, instead settling on a Grim Monolith. Cam wins his Crypt Trigger, but takes 1 off the vault. He plays a Training Center as land and sends Kraum at Dylan. He whiffs on the Winota trigger, but hands the turn over, with Dylan at his end step cracking his fetch for a Blood Crypt. Dylan plays a Mana Conflux as land and pays 1 to cast the Mox Diamond. He discards an Underground River and passes. Terry casts a Monkey and heads to combat. He sends his Goblin at Cam. Hidden has a Mana Conflux and casts a Rhystic Study. He doesn't want to give more cards to Cam and passes, with Cam at his end step overloading a Cyclonic Rift. He pays for the Rhystic, and Dylan luckily has a response, as he casts a Swan Song. He also pays for the Rhystic, and the Cyclonic is countered. Cam untaps and pays to untap his vault. He does forget his Crypt Trigger, but plays a tapped Watery Grave. He sends Kraum at Dylan, who finally chumps as he's taken quite a bit of commander damage so far. Dylan untaps and decimates. He pays 1 and targets the Rhystic Study, Draneth, Ancient Tomb, and Mana Vault. Terry then draws and evokes a Solitude. He exiles a Benevolent Bodyguard and chooses to exile Dylan's Dockside. Combat is then held with Ragavan heading at Dylan and the Goblin heading at Cam. The Goblin is shredded while Dylan exiles a Dispel off the top of his library, with Hidden at his end step flashing in an Oppo agent. Hidden plays an Orborg as land and seeing the Draneth gone casts his commander, Marneus Calgar. Cam takes 3 from his crypt and casts his other commander, Armix. He then sends Kraum back at Dylan, and responding to the Winota trigger, Terry casts his swords on the Kraum. Looks like Dylan is safe for now, with Cam gaining some life and whiffing on the Winota trigger. Dylan goes to his turn and main phases an Adnaz, although Cam dashes his hopes with a Flusterstorm. Dylan then ends his turn with a tapped Watery Grave. Terry heads straight to combat and sends the Monkey at Dylan, with the Goblin still going at Cam. Dylan exiles a Soul Ring, and on Terry's second main, casts it. He then follows it up with an Eidolon of Rhetoric, triggering Cam's Ledger Shredder. And with the Eidolon still in the stack, Hidden Swan Songs it. Hidden plays and cracks a Misty Rainforest for an untapped Hallowed Fountain. Cam is safe from his crypt and then casts a Phantasmal Image, which enters as a copy of the Gilded Drake, which then triggers to try and swap places with Marneus. But Hidden takes a risk as he responds with an Adnaz of his own. Although with Cam seeing so many extra cards, this game has a fierce guardianship to stop the Naz and gain control of Marneus. Cam then heads to combat and sends Armix at Terry, while Winota heads at Dylan. He triggers Armix to discard a Dark Ritual to kill the Blade Historian, and whiffs another Winota trigger. Terry then trades his Gilded Drake for the Armix, and Dylan takes 4. Dylan casts a Lion's Eye Diamond for 1, and then for 4 casts a Wheel of Fortune. Cam connives away a land, while Hidden responds with an offer you can't refuse, as he's actually holding an Isochron Scepter in hand. But Cam swoops in again with a Pact of Negation to get the wheels a spinning. Everyone discards and draws 7, with Dylan playing an Ancient Tomb as land and casting a Phantasmal Image. The image resolves and turns into a Dockside, getting him 8 treasures. He still has a floating mana and uses it to cast a Jeweled Lotus, which he cracks to recast Kess.
So 5 treasures, great. So I just cast an Iron Nauseam from 10 from my graveyard. Doesn't seem good. A second wheel could be good. 5 treasures total. Cast Fall could Decimate from my graveyard.
Targets are creature. Wait, is there not an enchantment?
There's no enchantment.
No,
God
there's
damn
not.
this stupid card!
Instead, 2 treasures get him a Dothy Voidwalker. Terry has a Plains' land and heads to combat. The Goblin once again gets shredded, and on his second main, Terry casts a Gold Mirror. Hidden pays 1 for a Mana Crypt, and then for 7 casts an Amiria's Call. Cam connives, and the call gets Hidden 2 Angels, and goes to the Dothy Zone. Hidden then goes to combat and sends his Ascended at Dylan for 6. And at his end step, Cam brainstorms. Cam takes 3 from his crypt, pays for his pact, and casts his own Dockside. Dylan doesn't want to give up any of his treasures, and Cam gets 13 of them. And after that unlucky omen, Cam gets a draw off Marneus, and casts an Underworld Breach. He is aware of the Dothy, and then escapes out a Cyclonic Rift for the Dothy to bounce it. He then re-escapes the Psych Rift for Thalia, and shows a Brain Freeze, 2 counterspells, and an LED in his grave, with the table scooping it up after that. Game review. Man, that was quite the game. Honestly, thanks so much to Dylan and Cam from PlaytoWin, as they both had sweet plays and were a blast to sit across from the table. As for the game, I thought it was over when Winota revealed that Blade Historian, but unfortunately, the Thalia was just not enough stacks to keep everyone else off. And when the Gilded Drake took Winota, he just wasn't able to recover. Although the Thalia was able to stop Dylan, as unfortunately, even with Kess out on the battlefield, he really wasn't able to get any real card advantage going, and he spent most of the game just playing a land and passing. Unlike Cam though, who had plenty of things to do. He was basically in the driver's seat from the start, and while the Ledger Shredder didn't give him any actual card advantage, it did let him filter unwanted cards out and relevant cards in. I also want to thank Sheldon Menery for the booster tutor. It was a fun extra bit of interaction, and it definitely added some spice to the normal game. I hope everyone enjoyed the game, as I played a lot of CDH that weekend, and we'll have plenty more games to come. Hey guys, thanks for making it to the end of the video. I just wanted to let you know that we have a TCG affiliate link, and if you ever see a card you want to try or are inspired to brew something new, use our link when purchasing and we'll receive a small portion of the sale. This is a great way to support the channel, and if you enjoyed the gameplay, please leave a like and subscribe, as it really helps us keep making videos. And remember, never give up, even if you're dead on board. I'll see you guys later.